Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Bite-Sized Cybercrime, the podcast where we discuss big cybercrimes in small episodes. And this week was certainly no small attack. It was an attack on a company that supplies people with arguably the most valuable resource in the world, water. We are about 70% water. We need to drink water to survive, and we use it to clean ourselves, our clothes, and our dishes. Some of us even use water to cool our PCs, which of course are very near and dear to our hearts. I personally don't use water cooling, but it is known to be very effective and actually quite safe when done correctly. In the United Kingdom, South Staffordshire plc, the parent company of South Staffs Water and Cambridge Water, which supply water to over 1.6 million people in the UK, confirmed on Monday last week that they were hit by a ransomware attack. It's not yet known how hackers were able to get on the network in the first place, but South Staffs did confirm disruptions to their corporate IT network, likely referring to the encryption of many important files. Encryption is converting a message that's in plain English into one that can't be read unless you have a secret key to decode it. If you encrypt files yourself and you have that key, that's great. If someone else encrypts files for you and you don't have that key, you can't get them back. The only way would be if you have a backup. The company clarified this attack on their corporate network did not affect the ability to supply water to customers in any way, which is true, but it is a bit scary to think about what could happen if the ability to supply water was affected. This is not out of the realm of possibility. More on that next week. The part of the story I found the most strange about this attack is the ransomware group that's actually behind it, a gang deploying a ransomware known as Clop. Clop is a pretty scary ransomware that deserves its own episode, but all you need to know about it for this one is that it's a ransomware that can encrypt files on a computer, as well as edit registry keys, which are low-level settings on a computer that can have major changes when they're altered. Clop is also a ransomware as a service, which is a subscription-based model that enables affiliates to use ransomware someone else made. Both the affiliates and the original developer get a cut of the ransom that is paid. This specific ransomware has gained a lot of notoriety for hitting very high-profile organizations in recent years and stealing a lot of money from them. Strangely enough, when the gang that deployed this ransomware decided to brag about their attack on a water supplier, they actually claimed to have attacked the wrong victim. Thames Water was hit instead of South Staffordshire. Not only that, but the group claimed to have accessed SCADA systems, which are supervisory control and data acquisition systems, infrastructure that is able to control and monitor industrial processes. It's kind of like having a bunch of smart devices hooked up to your phone that you can control, but with giant industrial machines in water plants. If this was true, which so far it does not seem like it is true, the gang could potentially manipulate these systems and harm 15 million customers of Thames Water in ways that I cannot even imagine. The hackers said they were responsible, noble hackers, however, and did not encrypt any data, only stealing 5 terabytes instead. That is a lot of data. I was trying to come up with a good comparison for how much that is, but instead I learned the largest hard drive size is 24 terabytes, which is pretty incredible. The solid state drive in my desktop is 1 terabyte, and most people I know who are into gaming have 2 terabyte drives in their desktops. Apparently our noble, kind-hearted hackers weren't that kind for so long, as after extorting Thames Water, they published a sample of data including passports, driver's licenses, screenshots from the SCADA systems, and email addresses and other similar files. Thames responded by basically calling them liars, claiming that they were operating at normal capacity and had not detected any such breaches. And they claimed the ransomware gang was perpetuating a cyber hoax against Thames Water to scare people. So, if they claim to attack Thames and publish data, why did I tell you South Staffordshire was attacked instead? Well, if you look at the redacted email addresses, which are included in my sources under the bleeping computer link, they're pretty clearly South Staff's emails, not Thames. These are two completely separate companies. And one of the leaked documents is even explicitly addressed to South Staffordshire plc. So why was the group so insistent that Thames was attacked? There's a few possibilities. They could likely be trying to create a panic, which makes a lot of sense as the attack came during periods of extreme drought and insanely hot weather in the UK. So it's no surprise that they wanted to target a giant water company, as during weather like this, water is crucial. This is supported by the fact that they claim to have access to the SCADA systems, which would allow them to contaminate or even stop the release of water. Another possibility is that they simply misidentified the victim, though I don't think that's too likely. They may have thought South Staffs was owned by Thames, but I don't see how you could accidentally hack a completely different company. Another possibility is that they were trying to extort a much larger company, one they possibly tried and failed to hack using false evidence from a smaller company and just hoping they wouldn't really notice and take the bait. On Wednesday, August 17th, Klopp did correct themselves after being called on their mistake, readdressing their extortion messages to South staffs instead of Thames. No matter which water company was attacked, this was to strike fear into the people in the UK, as well as the actual water suppliers. One major sign that you are being scammed or extorted is when you're being rushed. Ransomware, by its very nature, makes people rush. All your files are encrypted, and you may have a limited time to pay up or lose everything. Still, there is no guarantee that hackers will pay up, even if you give them the money. So don't give in to ransomware. Don't allow it to be so profitable. Thank you to Threatpost, Bleepy Computer, and Dark Rating for information on this story, and thank you to Thames Water for your statement as well as South staffs. And of course, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Bite-Sized Cybercrime, and until next time, stay secure.